Hi, I'm Brian Covey, the CEO of AquaChar. I wanted to spend some time to put a video series together kind of explaining carbon and how it interacts with water, give a baseline kind of how the chemical filtration aspects of activated carbon works. So activated carbon is one of the most popular chemical filtration methods out in the market today. It comes in every single filtration cartridge that you replace on a regular basis. So I'll just save the discussions on the different types of activated carbon for maybe another video. But let's go over some basics and of how carbon works and how activated carbon is activated. So when a carbon source is superheated, it starts to structure the carbon internally. They make carbon-carbon bonds and they push out impurities. It's used as fuel and everything like that. One of the things that limits the way activated carbon is made is the temperature before carbon turns to ash. One of the ways activated carbon compensates for that ash point temperature is they use things like acid washing, crushing it down to a small flake form to increase surface area. The most popular is using coal-based or fossil coal-based carbon sources because it's naturally been compressed by fossilization. The final step is a steam-based activation process that's usually very high temperature, attaches oxygen to the outside of it. This is what makes activation part of activated carbon versus just like regular charcoal. The final result is a structured or semi-structured carbon internally because of the higher temperature. Has a natural porosity outside of it, and it holds a negative charge. So this is important when talking about organic waste in the water and stuff like that. So when organic waste is floating through your water, it's kind of like this orb, just kind of held together and, when it's first fresh and new. It has a neutral charge, maybe a negative charge. But what happens is as the water gets soluble within it, it starts peeling back like, little layers of it. And, eventually these get dissolved in the water, and that's how you get the yellow tinting of your water. That's why chemical filtration is regularly used and maintained. Now here's where things get a little bit of fun. First of all, I'd like to thank my father-in-law for letting me borrow his vintage plasma ball just to kind of do this demo. But let's label the parts of this just so you can kind of see the visual representation. It's easy to think of your aquarium and your filtration system as a static thing. But in reality, with the negative charge, one thing that structured carbon allows to do is they're not really needy on electrons. And when it's structured together, it actually lets electrons kind of flow to where it's needed. So on a quantum scale, it kind of looks a lot like this. So like the ball in the middle just kind of shooting out the electrodes or the electricity. Would be like the surface of the carbon. The little pipe in the middle would be that free flow of electrons that you'd see in the water. So when you add carbon to your system, it basically gets this type of reaction. So as your organics break down, that outer layer becomes more positively charged. So naturally, it will magnetically pull in as you hit it, and it will suck in that piece to the surface of the carbon. So one thing to remember is water is both conductive and it has the ability to dissolve chemicals into a solution. So the best way to get rid of your dissolved organics is by using a chemical filtration method. These electron surges that come from the surface of the carbon acts a lot like can reach into the water and kind of like a tractor beam, and will pull these to the surface. After the organics are attached, these beams still continue to take it, and it makes it more into a pancake on the surface. As layers of organics come on over the first couple of days, you'll see that it actually will cover up and the carbon can no longer interact with the water. This is why activated carbon is usually made for short-term use, partially because of the size of the activated carbon, as well as just its ability to, or the biofilms from the bacteria starts eating the organics. Now I skipped over a lot in this video. I'll do some subsequent videos to kind of explain what makes AquaChar different than activated carbon. But I wanted to give a baseline on how carbon interacts in the water and how it's actually a magnetic charge that pulls the fine organics or the dissolved organics from your water. It helps your water be crystal clear and gets rid of that yellow tint from your water. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in future videos.